Rahmanir Rahim. Hello people, welcome back to the channel. This is Stockholm Gunner and this is the match preview, people. I usually do my match previews in a short form, right? The 10 minutes, the 8 minutes forms. But today I had a bit of a time on my hand again and I figured, you know what, why not go ahead and do a stream for the match preview. So this could be a 30 minutes match preview stream, people. Welcome back to the channel, right? On Wednesday we are playing against Kairat in the Champions League, people. Kairat, my people, right? This is a team that I have never heard of. This is a team that I have never heard of. I haven't seen us play against them, right? And I don't know pretty much anything about them at all. So therefore, I went to the internet, looked them up a bit, right? And apparently, this is a Kazakhstanian team who are leading their league, right? They're doing pretty well for themselves in their league. But in the Champions League, people, they are not doing that well at all. And I don't think they even had a single victory in the Champions League. We are sitting on top of the table and they are sitting at the bottom of the table, people. So it is the top versus the bottom. Absolutely crazy. And I would say, like J-Man is saying, this is the meaningless game for us, right? It is J-Man and Star Shining. Hello, my bro. Welcome to the stream, my guy. This is the match preview, right? So we're going to have a look at the latest 5 games they played, right? And that will give us a little bit inkling of the way they are performing currently. But I'm not too worried about this team at all. Seriously, not too worried at all. Star Shining saying they are dangerous. You must have a bit of an inkling about how they perform. So let's have a look at the 5 games they played recently. This is the 5 games they have played, people. They played against the Club Brugge. Club Brugge beat them 4-1. They played against Varasadin. That was a club friendlies. That was a 0-0 game for them. They played against Olympiacos. They lost that one 1-0. Copenhagen, they lost that one 3-2. That must have been a good game because 3-2 seems to be a good result for Copenhagen. And they played against Inter Milan and Inter Milan beat them 2-1, right? That's surprising because Inter Milan is pretty good team, right? And they only managed to beat them by 2-1. So therefore, Kairat must have performed pretty well against Inter Milan, people. Absolutely crazy that they got that kind of a scoreline against Inter Milan, right? For us, our form currently, people, our form, well, we're going to talk about what happened in the weekend. We have to, right? Purely because of the fact that our form in the Champions League and our form in the Premier League is so different from each other. Absolutely crazy the way we are performing in the Champions League. Absolutely crazy the way we are performing in the Premier League. The last 3 games that we played in the Premier League, we drew twice and we lost that one 3-2. 3-2, people. And then we played against Inter Milan. We beat Inter Milan 3-1. Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, it was a 0-0 game. And then it was Chelsea where we beat them 3-2. And then Bournemouth in the FA Cup where we beat them 4-1. So the results in the Premier League is pretty horrendous. Absolutely horrendous, right? So let's focus on talking about the Manchester United game because that is the latest game that we have played. Because I'm not going to be talking about much about Kairat. Like I said, I don't know anything about them at all. So let's focus on the game against Manchester United. As we know, we lost that one 3-2, right? And looking at the stats on that one, this is the top stats, people. This is the stat. We had a ball possession of 56% and they had 44%. Expected goals in that game was 1.19 for Arsenal and Manchester United, it was 0.71. We took about 15 shots, right? And 4 of them was on target. Manchester United took 3 shots, no, not three, 10 shots, and they had 3 on target. And those 3 shots on target, they scored from it. Absolutely crazy. They scored all those 3 shots on target, right? Talk about being so effective and efficient in front of the goal, right? That is crazy to me that they only had 3 shots on target. I thought it was more than that. When I was doing my match preview, not match preview, my watch along stream, right? I was anxious, I was frustrated, and there was a couple of players that I was frustrated with. So we're going to talk about those players as well. This is the starting 11 that we had in that game. We had Raya in goal, Timber as a right back, Saliba and Gabriel central defenders, and Hinkepie. Right? Let's start with the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper was all right in that game. Seriously, all right in that game. The defenders, I thought they were okay as well. They did couple of mistakes, people. They did do a couple of mistakes, and those mistakes was misplaced passes. Seriously, right? Saliba did a couple of misplaced passes. Gabriel, I think he did 1 or 2. Hinkepie and Timber, they didn't do that much of mistakes, but they were all right. The defenders was all right. To be honest with you, I think they were all right. In that midfield, the player that will come into question is Zubimendi with that horrendous pass to back to the goalkeeper, and the Mboma came in between, and he managed to nick the ball and scored the first goal for Manchester United. Absolutely horrendous pass from Zubimendi. Declan Rice and Zubimendi, I thought they were all right. One thing that was frustrating to see was that they were dropping so deep into our half, almost in shoulders with the defenders, right? And building the play from there. There's no need for you guys to go back so deep into our half. We do have the defenders who are capable of progressing the ball further up the field. So why not focus on being in the middle of the park? You are midfielder, for God's sake, right? Both Zubimendi and Declan Rice are midfielders. They are midfielders. Even Martin Odegaard is also a midfielder, creative midfielder. So therefore, they shouldn't be going down so deep into our half, right, to pick the ball up. That is crazy. And the other thing that we were doing with our midfielders was that we were doing that slow build up. And this is something that Arteta has coached them to do in the games, which is absolutely crazy, right? Sometimes the games needs a bit of a pace, right? Going from the back to the front quickly and hitting teams under contact so quick that they can't even get into a position properly. That's what we need to do. We tend to build up so slowly from the back. This so-called control and ball possession, it is frustrating to watch sometimes. And in that game against Manchester United, I thought it was very frustrating to watch Arsenal play in that way. Now, Martin Odegaard, he's supposed to be the captain. He's supposed to be the leader in this team. And I thought in this game, he was hiding. In the watch along, I was saying, look what Martin Odegaard is doing, people. Look at what he's doing. He is going to the side where Bukayo Saka is, pretty much hugging the sideline in order to create stuff from that side. But for God's sake, you are a creative midfielder. Seriously, you're supposed to be all over that midfield. You're supposed to be bang in the middle of the park so you can pick your head up and put those passes to Trossard, Jesus, and Bukayo Saka. He wasn't doing that. He was sticking to the right side over and over again. And then what is it with those sideways passes? You are a creative midfielder, my friend, and you should be taking care of business on the field. On the day, he was very poor, and he was substituted out of the game 55 minutes in the second half, right? And then we have the 3 players up front. I thought Bukayo Saka was good. good. He wasn't at his best level, but he was good. He was an outlet for us the whole game, right? He was taking on players, and he was doing his part, and he was crossing those balls into the box, right? That's what I think about Bukayo Saka, and he's an absolute outlet for us and the best player that we have in the club. That's what I think about Bukayo Saka, seriously. And then you have Trossard on the other side, on the left wing. Now, look, Trossard, I like him as a player. I think he's an intelligent player. But the age is coming into play now. He's not that quick anymore. And then the other thing is that what he does for us is that he's also another creative player from the left side. And I thought that he would make a couple of passes in the game against Manchester United, and then we will break them down. That's what I thought he was going to do. But no, he didn't do that. Every time he got the ball, he was taking the ball backwards, slowing the game down. When the play was to hit him on the quickness, right? To hit him quickly on the counter attack, he wasn't doing that. He was just slowing the game down. I can understand why he does that, because when you slow the game down, as soon as the guys are running with pace, then their areas will open up for you to pass the ball to, right? And that's what he was trying to do. And I can understand that part. But you don't have to do that over and over again the whole time. So in the watch along, I was saying I want Martin Odegaard out. I want Trossard out, because both of them are not performing in this game, right? So we did get Martin Odegaard substituted into 55 minutes in the second half, but Trossard was left on the field, and Mikel Arteta wasn't able to see that he was performing poorly. And then we had Nune Madueke coming into the second, further on into the second half, right? And what he did was Mikel Arteta, that he took Bukayo Saka out of the right wing and put him into the left wing, and played Nune Madueke as a right winger. What the hell are you doing, Mikel Arteta? What the hell are you doing? You took your best player out of his position, and then you put Nune Madueke in there. I thought that was such a poor decision. People, right? On the day, Mikel Arteta, he did get a couple of things right, but most of the things that he didn't get it right. He did not get it right. Look, one thing he did that I thought was very good was that as soon as the second half started, 5 minutes into the second half, he made 4 substitutions. I believe Ben White came into the game. I believe Marino came in as well. Essie came in, and Victor Gyökeres also came in. So therefore, the manager wanted to have an impact in the second half. He wanted something to happen in that second half, because we were down by 2-1 at that time, right? So therefore, we needed a goal. So there, he brought in what he thought would make a change into the play that we had in the second half. So I give him applause for that, for doing those 4 substitutions into the field. That was good from Mikel Arteta, but I think the Nune Madueke substitution was wrong, right? He should have played on the left wing. If you were going to bring him on, he should have played on the left wing, and Bukayo Saka should have continued as a right winger. I personally wanted to see Martinelli starting from the beginning in the game, right? I wanted him in the starting 11, because I think his performances in the Champions League is amazing. Martinelli, he got a couple of goals in the Champions League, and I think he did very good job in the Champions League, right? That is Martinelli, and those are the players. And on the day, this game mattered to us. This seriously did matter to us. Why? Because both Man City and Aston Villa managed to win their games in the weekend, and we had to also win our game. But I have to say, Manchester United played pretty well. They really did play pretty well against us. They were not pressing us hard, but however, they were in around our players, right? And they were making us make mistakes. And that was such a big mistake from Zupermani to make with that pass. That's not the first time he's making that kind of mistake, right? Zupermani. So we need to cut it off. We need to cut off all those mistakes that we're doing. And the other thing that comes into mind is that when the game matters, people, when the game matters, we are not performing. We are not performing. That was the case with Liverpool. We knew that their game mattered and we didn't perform well enough to get the 3 points. So we drew that one against them. And then we came to Nottingham Forest. That wasn't as we drew against them. And then you have Manchester United in the weekend where we choked. We choked, people. To be honest with you guys, we really did choke in this game. We scored 2 goals, yes, right? Martin Odegaard with the shot and it deflected off the defender. And then Timber, I think, got a foot to the ball and it went in, right? That was the first goal. We got one back, right? From Mbeumo scoring the first goal, we got one back. It was 1-1. We thought, hey, we may actually do something, right? But then again, they managed to take that control away from us. They managed to take that control away from us. And I thought they had a good ball position in that game, right? I didn't think it was 44%. I thought it was more than that. But overall, Manchester United managed to keep hold on to the ball and play around us. They were doing that. They were really good at that, right? So it was a frustrating day. It was absolutely frustrating day. And you can't have your captain, Martin Odegaard, perform like that in a big game like against Manchester United. You cannot simply do that, people. And on that field, we lacked leaders. We did lack leaders, right? They say that Odegaard is a leader. They say that Bukayo Saka is the leader. They say that Declan Rice is the leader. They say that Gabriel Magalhaes is the leader. I didn't see leaders on that field against Manchester United, people. Somebody that's telling the boys, look, this game matters, man. Let's go after them. Let's go get the 3 points. This is not good enough. Wake up, for God's sake, right? We cannot keep doing this over and over again in a games where it matters, right? Nobody was doing that in the game, unfortunately. So that is the game against Manchester United, people. And what did Mikel Arteta say after the game? We're going to have a look at his words from the press conference, right? Let's have a look at that. On the result itself, he said this. First of all, congratulations to Manchester United for the victory. I think we started the game really well. Yes, he's right. We did start the game pretty well, people. And I thought the first 30 minutes into the game, we were the better team, right? And we were very dominant. They played in the areas that we wanted, scored a goal, and had 2 fantastic chances to score another. After that, we gave them the goal. That was the error from Zupermani, that back pass that didn't go all the way back to the goalkeeper, and Mbeumo came in between and he managed to nick the ball and drop the shoulder, making Raya go down and then place the ball into the back of the net. Errors are part of the football, he says, very unlike us, but we gave them the goal and hope, right? And that shifted the energy. Yes, it did shifted the energy. I noticed that also. It did shifted the energy. Seriously, it did. And it gave that belief to Manchester United that they can get something out of this game, right? Because from then to the halftime, we really struggled, especially to keep the ball in the right areas after regaining the ball, and we had to do that. We were not really good on the ball. We were not really good at the ball. That slow play from the back was not working for us. This is a team, Manchester United, that does not do well against the teams that play quickly, right? And we didn't play quick enough from the back to the front, people. From the back to the front, we didn't do that. And then the game became a little bit open without the dominance of the first half. After that, in the second half, he says they had 2 brilliant goals. It was 2 brilliant goals, people. It was seriously 2 brilliant goals. That goal from Dorco, some people are saying that it was a handball involved in that build-up, but the way he hit the ball and the way that went in was unbelievable, people. It was unbelievable. That was a good goal. There's nothing Raya could have done about it. Nothing he could have done about it. Seriously, right? Where was I? Yes, that was two brilliant goals, some individual qualities, and a magical moments in a big games. That's a good example of it. But with the changes, I think we managed to shift the energy again, score the second goal, and we could feel that everything changed and the game was there to go and win it. Right? That's what he says. In the next action, Nuna is one-on-one in the 6-yard box. We don't get anything out of it. It goes to goal kick. They close the structure. One pass, win the duel. Cunha puts it in a perfect angle to lose all the momentum. That's what he says, Mikel Arteta. All the good energy that we were building up to go and win the game for them was so very, very disappointed, obviously, he says. But it is a moment, especially after losing, the joy and the everything that those players are giving us, me in particular, to take responsibility myself and be very close to them, because it is exactly what they deserve. Look, we have been playing pretty good in the Champions League, very good in the Champions League. But in the Premier League, our last 3 games, there are question marks on Mikel Arteta and what he's doing on those training grounds, right? We're not putting in a good performance. We haven't been putting in good performances against Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, and Manchester United. Unfortunately, that is just the facts, people. That is just the fact, right? On if he felt nervous in the stadium, I don't know. He says we have to understand that we all want to win, and the crowd is trying to be behind the team to make the best decision and to win the game, and we need to go through that. Look, I felt the stadium was nervous. People were nervous. In my watch along, I was pretty nervous. I was frustrated, right? And there was things that we were seeing that Mikel Arteta didn't see quick enough, like the issue with Trossard. Trossard was not good on that day. Trossard was not good on that field, right? We saw Martin Odegaard was not good. Mikel Arteta realized that, and he took him off, brought in Ebrici Eze and Mikel Merino on as well, and the game kind of slightly shifted then, right? So we all felt the nervousness in the stadium, and when you're playing against Manchester United, this is a team that we always want to win against them. We really want to win against Manchester United. I personally grew up on the 90s and the 2000s, where Manchester United and Arsenal games are big games in the calendar, right? And we always looked forward to playing against them and winning against them. So I can understand the stadium being nervous. In that sense, we were all nervous. On errors leading to the goals. Difficult to say. I think the first one probably leads to the second one. And the fact that you want to be more protective probably doesn't help to make those mistakes, right? Because there were 3 or 4 mistakes, to be fair. Very unusual today in the game. They are part of the football. Sometimes you do get punished and sometimes not. Today we got punished, and apart from it, has to be credit to the opponent for what they've done, and it is in the manner they managed to win the game. I mean, the way they won the game was incredible. Cunha with that amazing shot was unbelievable. The way he curled it around Raya, and Raya didn't stand a chance. He did not stand a chance at all. He didn't stand a chance in the second goal. He didn't stand a chance in the third goal either. So there was 2 brilliant goals against us. There were 2 brilliant goals. On the difference between playing the Premier League and other competitions, he says, well, it depends which game. The Liverpool game was very different. The first and the second half, when we go to Forest, you look back and we can see nothing, and the 5 big chances that we didn't score. That is the reality as well, and we are playing every 3 days. I think to discriminate competition is very difficult for me, at least to put individual performances on the players or the collective. But it's reality that we haven't won in the 3 games in the Premier League, and we need to pick up points. Look, we are poor in the Premier League. Those 3 games that we played. Those 3 games that we played in the Premier League, the last 3 games in the Premier League was pretty poor, people. Absolutely poor, right? I didn't like the game we played against Liverpool. I didn't like the game we played against Nottingham Forest, nor did I like, even though the game against Manchester United was slightly better than the Liverpool and Nottingham Forest one. But however, we lost that one because Man United was brilliant on the day. They really were, right? That is that. On opinions on Patrick Vieira's assessment of the team's mental strength. This is the question that comes into play, right? People start asking, are they mentally strong to win this Premier League? Let's see what the answer is. That's fine. We accept every opinion when it comes and where it comes from, and they will have the right reason to say. At the end, we have to show the mental strength that we have on the pitch when it comes to the match day. And we were absolutely brilliant in Milan. Today, we were not good. I don't know if it was a mental because of how much they played, but because we were poor, especially technically in certain aspects of the game against a team that when you make those mistakes, they can punish you big time, and that was the difference. Look, we are close. We are really close. I mean, we haven't been on top of the table the last 3 seasons, right? In this time of the season, and I think it's good that we are table leaders and we are 4 points clear from Man City, but we didn't do ourselves favors against Manchester United. We should have won that game, right? That was a poor performance from the boys. It was a big game, and the boys didn't really show up for that game. That is simply the truth of the truth. Basically, that's what it is. On booze in the stadium at the halftime, that's part of the demands and expectations that we want to win, and that's it. And individually, everybody can react in a manner they need, right? I think the booze is unfair. The booze is unfair. I know the boys put in a poor performance, but this is our team. We need to be sharing them on, and we need to make sure that they are supported throughout the season, right? And we are so close. We are so close, people, to the end of the season, and there's a couple of games left. There are a couple of games left, about 15 games left, I believe it is, right? And I think we can do it. But Arteta needs to do a couple of changes. He needs to do a couple of changes. He needs to make technical changes, right? And he needs to play quicker. Against teams like Manchester United, you need to play quicker, people. I understand some teams you need to build up slowly from the back, right? That is the smaller teams. That is teams that they're not very strong in the Premier League. So therefore, against the bigger teams, you need to move the ball a lot more quicker, right? Hit them on the counter quick. Some teams are not capable of withstanding quick play, and we lack that quickness in the team. We really do lack that quickness in the team. That's what I'm going to say on that, right? On how to deal with expectations, doing what we have to do, and doing what we have been doing for 7 months, exactly that. And the position we are still in today, even though we lost, I think it is the first time sitting here this season at home we lost a game. And that is a good point, actually, because this is the 3rd time we're losing basically in the season. We only lost 3 times in the season so far. That just shows you how good we have been so far in the season, right? So it is a part of the journey to win, and if not, nobody will lose football. Nobody will lose football match. It is how we react to it, and I'm very convinced that because we know those players in the dressing room and how much they want it, we are going to react to it immediately. That is how we're dealing with the expectations, and I hope they react very swiftly and quickly and better in the Premier League. In the Champions League, we're doing all right. We're doing good. But in the Premier League, we need to do a lot better. On how it feels to hear boos in the stadium, it doesn't matter. He says we have to do more. So maybe that's not enough. We have to do more, and there's nothing else. We have to do our very best, and when you do that, you can rest in peace, right? And today we really certainly try to do our best. We weren't efficient enough against a team that was very organized, and we got punished because of our own mistakes. That is true. We did get punished of our mistakes, people. Absolutely crazy, right? So that is the match the post conference press conference, people. Now against Kairat, right, in the Champions League, this is the game that is pretty much a meaningless game for us, right? We are top of the table, and I think basically this game we should play our backup players and our youth players. So let's do my predicted starting 11, what I think Arteta will go for in the game against Kairat on Wednesday, people, right? Let's do that. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go and get the team builder, and we're gonna say Arsenal, and I think Kepa will play in this game. So I'll put Kepa in goal, and then I will play Ben White as the right back, and then I would play Christian Mosquera, central defender. I believe Calafiori is back because he was in training this morning. So I think he will come in, and then Lewis Kelly will play as a left back. Those are the defenders. Ben White as a right back, Mosquera and Calafiori central defenders, and Lewis Kelly together with the goalkeeper Kepa. In that midfield, as the 6, I believe it will be Christian Norgard. Where is Christian Norgard? Let me find Christian Norgard. Christian Norgard, I will play as the 8, Mikel Merino, and then Ebriche as the 10, right? And then Nuno Madueke will come in and play this one on the right wing. Where is Nuno Madueke? Let me find Nuno Madueke. There's Nuno Madueke. And then on the left wing, Martinelli. And then up front, I will play Kai Havertz, you know. He was in training today as well. So Kai Havertz, where are you? Where are you, Kai Havertz? Let's start from the beginning. There's Kai Havertz. That is the starting 11. If you guys look at the screen right now, that is the starting 11 I think Mikel Arteta will go for in this game against Kairat in the Emirates Stadium, people. In the Emirates Stadium, that is the starting 11 I think he will go for, people. And I think that's a team that's going to do the job, and I think it's going to be a big scoreline on the night. Seriously, big scoreline I think it's going to be, right? Let me have a look at the chat. What's the chat saying? Star Shining says it's gonna be 3-1. That is my prediction, he says, right? And Charlie says, to be honest, if this is a loss, to be honest, if this L was coming, many would have gladly taken a spanking at San Siro and not at the eyelid, right? I can understand that. It is 2 draws and 1 loss, and title is losing form, to be honest, right? We were least imperfect team that we know, right? That is what is Charlie saying. Now that is the chat, people, and that is the prediction, and that's all I had for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I think on Wednesday night, we're gonna do the business in the Emirates Stadium. We tend to play very well in the Champions League, and I think it's gonna be 5-0, people. I really do think it's gonna be 5-0 for the Gunners, right? That is the match preview, people. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, be part of the community. And also, I won't be doing the watch along stream for Wednesday night because I'm out on a dinner with the family. So I may push out a match reaction instead. So I will see you guys on the weekend for a watch along stream against Leeds. I believe it is the next team we're gonna have, right? The next team we're gonna play against. So I wish you a good day, right? And catch you guys on the next one. Take care and have a nice